The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2024 summer edition of The Local Show. I'm your host, Tom Soccocio Jr., along with my friend and co-host, Steve Roberts. The Local Show features conversations about local businesses. We talk with the business owners, CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, business advocates, and other business-friendly organizations. We learn how they got into business, why they do business right here in Syracuse, New York, and where their businesses might be going in the future. You will hear all about their successes, their challenges, opportunities, marketing, and advertising. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studios, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts, and you can see the whole show on YouTube. And you can see past shows on YouTube and get a good look at Steve. Happy Father's Day, Steve.
Happy Father's Day weekend, Tom. How it goes with you, man?
The whole weekend, all day. Well, actually, I told my kids and family that it was Father's Day week.
Oh, that's good.
I told them starting, last Monday. So
what diseases are you fighting off this week, Tom?
My daughter came home. She babysits, on the off season when she's not teaching. So she's been babysitting. She caught a bad cold, and I guess the guy at the gym had a bad cold, and I was kind of laughing.
Does she know that guy?
And everybody, no.
Okay.
They're not. They don't know each other. So and I of course take all my good, supplements and my vitamin C's and D's and all that, and all through the alphabet. And I thought, hey, I got this licked. I don't have a problem. And then all of a sudden, bammo, midweek, it hit me like a ton of bricks.
And that's no good.
So I might sound a little stuffy, but I'll make it through. That's what they make Afrin for.
Did it catch the boy child or your wife or no?
No. Thank goodness it didn't get the wife, because the wife had a retinal detachment.
That sounds like a military procedure. What's a retinal detachment?
Well, it's sort of like being married for 30 years and you have that detachment.
Yes.
Only it happens in the eye.
So she had surgery. Is she doing okay?
Yeah, she's doing really well. And by the way, we should say a big shout out to a huge fan of yours, Tim. Actually, he didn't reference you at all, but I wanted to make you feel good. Tim was the nurse that checked Kelly in, and he is an avid listener of The Local Show. He knows Jimmer.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim. And he's a full-on nurse. He actually has a master's degree. He could teach music. He's a music guy, and then he changed careers and everything.
So is he one of those guys that's like, oh, you're the guy in the radio, and then there's that other guy. I'm always the other guy. Have you noticed?
No, in fact, he just made it sound like it was just me.
There we go. That's what I would expect.
I'm just kidding. No, he likes the show. In fact, he even referenced the fact that how we bust on each other, so he liked that.
Well, I have a lot to work with.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've got a great show for you, folks. Stick around for the entire 2 hours. We've got George Ryan up first. He's the founder of Fox Fest, and we'll learn all about that and what they do. And Sean Dupree stops by, owner of Top Notch Roofing. Todd Story is the energy advisor at Energy Mark. And then we'll talk with Sheila Ostrom, the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. Sev Ganella stops by. He's the owner of Clean All, and they specialize in pools, so get your ears perked up if you got a pool and you want to learn more about that. John Kupperman stops by. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Jeremy Mapstone is the co-owner of Pastureland Dairy and also part of Onondaga Grown. And then Craig Zinserling is the president of CRAL Contracting. There's no W in it, just CRAL.
Probably stands for something.
Stands for something.
We'll find out, won't we?
And yes, right. Okay, there you go. George Ryan's up first, founder of Fox Fest. How are you there, George?
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. You can get closer to that microphone.
There you go.
We only make Steve stay away from the mic. There we go.
Thank you.
Very good. George, are you a local person here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I live in the same house I grew up in.
No kidding.
Navarino, New York, out by Beacon Skiff area.
Geez,
yeah.
know, I've gone through the Four Corners in Navarino 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be a bass pond. There was a guy who let you fish for bass right around there.
back in the day. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Rent a
Bass pond?
Yeah. I used to go there.
I know this.
Now they sell topsoil out of there.
Do they really? That was great. You go in there and catch big bass. Yeah, nice. All right, well, that's great. So what is Fox Fest, and is this part of your full-time job? Or
No. Full-time job is I work for Romano's at the Mercedes dealership.
Oh, no kidding.
But, I run their collision center up there. It's a great place. But so basically it started out as a pig roast, as a local party.
Okay.
And then it just grew out of control. And then the second year we started doing it for different charities every year.
Okay.
So every year we pick a different charity. And that's how we got Rob involved in the whole charity there. So.
Yeah, and sitting right next to you, you guys can't see it on the radio, but you can certainly see it on YouTube, is Rob Helfrich. And is that the way you say your last name, Rob?
Yes, it's German.
Okay, yes, very nice. So, Rob, how did you get involved with George?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, I had lost my son to suicide.
Oh, we're sorry to hear that.
In 2019.
Okay.
And I started this foundation really because I quickly learned that there are so many other families suffering.
Yeah.
That everywhere I go, I find somebody else who has lost a loved one to suicide or mental health. And George here is no exception. I was getting my wife's car fixed.
Oh, okay.
And he's also a hunter, so we started talking about hunting. And then I mentioned that my son had made a muzzleloader himself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I wanted to honor my son by eventually maybe harvesting a deer with his muzzleloader. And so he asked why, and I told him why.
Yeah.
And then George said, he's had situations that
we
with
have
loved
a bunch
ones.
in our family lately.
Oh, no kidding.
And employees. So George got suddenly got very excited and animated, and he said, "Man, we got this Fox Fest thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do it for you this year. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be great." And for me, frankly, it's a great venue because we're going to build awareness. There's going to be a couple thousand people there.
Right.
We're going to build awareness, and families need to know that this is reality.
Yeah.
And it's so easy, especially with teenagers, to just say, well, it's just a phase. It's just
Right,
a phase.
right.
I've done it myself. I didn't realize my son was suffering until I saw his phone and realized that he was having suicidal ideation for 8 months.
No
prior,
kidding.
at least.
That's terrible.
So the money that we raise goes to Upstate Foundation to support the psychiatry high-risk program. Phenomenal work they're doing there. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
They treat kids 14 and up, and at high risk of suicide. These are multiple attempt patients. And
Hard to believe that those tendencies start so young.
Oh my gosh!
So when they have so much to live for.
Right.
We also have a 5K that has memorials to this apple orchard. These memorials start at 12 years old. 12-year-old girl. A lot of teenagers.
Yeah.
So the funds are going to go from the Fox Fest to the Upstate Foundation. What happens at Fun Fest, real quick? When is it? What is it?
It is August 3rd. It's held in Navarino, right up on Fox Road. That's how we got the name. It's going to start Friday night. We have a ton of campers and motorhomes that pull in on Friday, Thursday, set up their campsite. I take one of my hay fields and I turn it into like a camper village, and then everybody sets up there. We have a portable swimming pool that drives in on a tractor trailer, and it's filled with water for people to swim in and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's kind of cool because it's so hot every time.
Yeah.
They come in, they sign in. It's pre-admission, so basically you buy a T-shirt up till June 25th. You can pre-admission on our website, www.foxfest.com, foxfestsyracuse.com.
Is there music or things like that
So
too?
12 bands, music all day. All the biggest local bands for Central New York are there.
Okay.
And we have one, we always try to do one national act. We got Cooper Greer coming in from Nashville. He's coming in.
Nice.
So his whole band's going to be awesome. And then Riders, our headliner. That's the big local band. So it should be a great time. Basically, you just pre-order your T-shirt. You can pay at the door. You don't have to do a pre-order. You just don't get the cool free shirt.
So just really quickly, when you guys met, was Fox Fest already big or?
Yes, this is our 14th year. This is actually going to be our last one because
no kidding.
It's going to be the very last one that we're going to do. It's very time consuming. It takes a lot of space and time.
Yeah.
So the website on that is foxfestsyracuse.com?
Correct. Yep.
So people can see it, have a great weekend.
Yep.
Goes to a great cause.
Absolutely.
Fox Fest. Well, here, Tom, can you say that? You're the professional. How do we say?
Fox Fest.
Foxfestsyracuse.com. See, you do that. Tom, you're so much better than me at that.
It's only 2 words.
Yes.
And here's another couple of words. Thank you, both.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Sean Dupree is up next. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. Stick around for that conversation on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back in the saddle again. Here we are, Father's Day weekend, and I'm sitting here with a mother of a father, Steve Roberts. How are you there, Steve?
I'm all right for being
who you are.
being who I am. It's okay.
That's good.
Sometimes I just had a hard time getting going today, like moving, and I don't know. I'm sipping on the coffee. Will you take a lot of meds? So do they make you tired?
No.
I mean, you take stuff for your allergies.
Yeah, it's for the allergies.
Does that knock you out?
Well, yeah, some allergy stuff does, but I take mainly the upper stuff.
Okay.
You know, so anything, and of course with my sinus condition, I have to take low doses of prednisone, so that'll jack you up.
Yeah. How's the house coming? You were working on all kinds of things.
Yeah, a little bit better, I guess. I haven't made my way to the outside. And we're still finishing the inside. But my wife actually brought out with her after her eye surgery, which was a weird time to do it. But she had pulled out all of the things that were hanging on the walls when we started the remodeling.
Okay.
So I started putting up stuff, and I'm fancy. I have a nice laser level. So, you know, I'm putting the laser across the wall and making sure everything's hung properly.
Everybody in your neighborhood open their pools that you envy?
Yeah, so everybody has their pools open and stuff like that, which is very nice.
Do you slow down and gawk, or do you just...
No, I'm more obsessed with the fact that 2 or 3 of my neighbors have beautiful cars, classic cars that I don't have.
You know, if you keep a car long enough,
very nice.
It could be a classic.
Yes, I guess it could. Yeah, I have a shopping cart that I stole from Phase Drugs years ago, and that's looking like a classic.
I got one at Carl's Plaza, right over there. You know, same with orange. Remember Carl's was orange and
yes,
Phase
I
was
do.
yellow?
Yeah, I might show it up at the car show.
We're old, Tom. We're old.
It's our pleasure to bring on Sean Dupree to the show again. He's the owner of Top Notch Roofing. How are you there, Sean?
Good. I'm good. How you guys doing?
Do you know why I don't have a classic car at this age? What's going on?
I don't know.
The answer is not. Steve doesn't pay you enough. That's not the answer.
You probably have malts in your wallet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that could be.
No, that's not true.
That's true. No matter how hard I work. Now you're into boating, aren't you? You got like a race boat, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't call it a race boat, but it's.
What size motor's in it? Come on.
565.
Oh yeah. They didn't put those in Cadillacs, did they?
No. It's a big motor.
That's a big block, man.
So wide open. What will she do?
I don't know yet. The motor's still in pieces in my garage.
Gosh.
So.
Well, if you weren't so busy putting a roof sign, you'd be able to.
That's a true story. Well, we got to make the money to be able to do that stuff.
So it is the season to get a roof, right?
It's definitely the season to get a roof. We're in full swing right now. We're banging them out every day.
That is fabulous. Okay. And so I'll mention it now, but it's topnotchroofingcny.com. If someone wants a quote on a residential or commercial roof, let's talk about that project you're working on in a minute, but 247-0628. They can say, Sean, come by. Can you get me a quote on my roof?
That's right.
247-0628. Tell me about that building that you're doing over there. I called it the creepy puppet building. That probably wasn't. What was that building?
It was. At one time.
Who did he offend?
At one time, they did have the puppet shows in there.
And it was creepy, right?
Yeah, it was a little theater where they did the puppet shows and whatnot. Now it's a Buddhist temple.
Okay, really?
Yeah, it's right in front of St. Joe's on Prospect Ave.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's really right on Route 11.
Okay, that's an old building.
It's very old.
Did you have to do anything different because it was so old? Do they have rules you can't, or is there roof for roof?
We had to do some testing, like asbestos testing and whatnot, and make sure that there wasn't asbestos, which there was. So we had to do some abatement. But other than that, no. I mean, it's a roof. It's just a big, high roof and with a steep pitch, and
it's a very cool building.
It is. It's
do you
really
get up
neat.
there and do them still? Or are you?
I will get on there and do them. but not typically. I'm typically on the ground,
Right.
Orchestrating?
or running around trying to get everything done.
Yeah, as you get older, it's harder to.
Yeah.
No,
You probably used to climb those things like a mountain goat, but
Yeah, I still can.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't bother me to get up there. We got a lot of hands, though.
Good.
So, for me, I don't typically have to get up there unless we have a run into an issue. I'll get up and I'll help them.
that's one of the things we
through it.
talked about last time too, and we should reiterate that. When you go to a resident, how many people do you put on the roof?
Well, we can
Start
put
the
as
project.
many as we need depending on the size. Our goal is always to get the roof done in one day.
No kidding.
And depending on the size of the roof will depend on how many hands we
And
put
if
up
you have to
there.
replace boards, right? I mean,
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tom, when you had your kitchen done, that was just a day, right? It was one day?
It hasn't ended, Steve.
It hasn't ended. So
It
it
hasn't
seems
ended.
like a roof is ginormous. It's the biggest part of your...
Yeah. Well, especially if you got to, like I say, where you're replacing sheets of plywood, right?
Yeah. This roof's about 50 square, the one we're doing today, and it's 12-12 pitch. Some of it's got some steeples. It's got some turrets in it, so they're round. Those are like 16-12 pitches, so it's really steep. But we got about 18 guys on that right now.
Okay. So when you say you can get these things done in a day, is the work sacrificed? I mean, is the
Absolutely
quality sacrificed?
Absolutely not.
No? How come?
We make sure we do everything right. We make sure we do it, put the roofs onto the manufacturer specs, and we inspect everything when we're done. We make sure everything's good, and if we see something that's not done properly, we'll fix it right there.
A few months ago, you were talking warranty, and I'm just remembering that a warranty isn't a warranty on a roof. Can you, and there was something about amortization of it. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we typically use Atlas shingles, which has a limited lifetime warranty, which most shingle brands today have limited lifetime warranty. Where the real warranty comes in is when you start looking into the blow-off warranties, how many years. A lot of roofs are only 10, or a lot of manufacturers are 10 years. There's some 15-year ones out there, and Atlas offers a 25-year wind blow-off. So with our Atlas shingles that we use, it covers your material and labor to have it fixed under warranty.
Okay. Does a roof last longer if you clean it?
It can, yeah.
Because that whole roof cleaning thing, because on our old roof, on our old house, we would get like pebbles and it would be like streaky, and we weren't quite sure what to do. Did we need a roof? Did we just need someone to hose it off? What did we need?
Yeah, sometimes when you get some debris up on the roof, those black streaks, it's called Geoclapsa magna. It's actually a live airborne algae that can accumulate anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's north, south, east, west. Under shade, not shade, it can be in full sun. It's just an airborne algae that attaches to your roof, and then it expands, and it will continuously get worse. That can be cleaned off. It is definitely recommended. According to your warranty on all shingles, proper roof maintenance is a must. So if you aren't taking care of the roof, if they come out to try to do an insurance claim and it's dirty, they can deny that claim.
Do you do roof cleaning too?
We do roof
okay.
cleaning. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
I think I have that algae in my nose. Can you get it in your nose?
Our roof had it. I didn't know it had a big, fancy, long, technical name.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the moss and algae and whatnot and all that stuff. It can also be removed. You have to do it properly.
Tom definitely has that in his nose.
So can people still get a quote from you and start a project this summer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so Top Notch Roofing, CNY. Make sure you put the CNY on there, .com. Or call Sean and say, hey, can you check my roof at 247-0628. That's the big area code, Tom.
Yes.
247-0628. Sean Dupree, Top Notch Roofing.
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Todd Story's coming up next. He's the energy advisor at Energy Mark. Right here on the local show, we'll find out that whole story coming up next.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Happy Father's Day weekend from the Local Show, Tom and Steve. Just like with Mother's Day, there's a bunch of us who don't have mothers anymore. And Steve, you lost your father a while back. And, my dad is still around. And you know what he says? He says, I'll be here till... He says, I'll be here till I'm gone. So I'm living my life and enjoying my life. Don't be sad when I'm not here.
He went to Georgia like the devil, didn't he?
Well, if he's dancing with the devil, he's having a good time with doing it. I'll tell you that. But your dad is more heaven bound, and you have probably some good memories. Did you ever do anything special on Father's Day, or that you can recall?
There was, we would hang out as family.
Yeah.
In different things, and it was just kind of.
Did he fish a lot too, or?
Oh, he taught me to fish.
It was okay.
That's where I learned.
Great.
And
you never did a Father's Day fishing excursion?
No, not really. I did on my, not Father's Day, but on my 40th birthday. I golfed in November 9th. Okay, my birthday.
It's very specific. Go ahead.
I golfed with my dad out in Marcellus at the Links of Sunset Bridge. I remember that day.
Oh, okay.
So he would have been 70. I was 40, so he would have been at 70. And I remember, it's funny, it wasn't Father's Day, but I remember that the time, it was like 70 degrees, November day, weird, right? And we did it. But he taught me to fish, and up at on Lake Ontario, he had like things. He's like, go out through the canal. When you see the second cliff, line it up with the water tower at Sackus Harbor and turn. You follow the drift, and you'll catch bass. You know what?
Very nice.
Spot on.
It worked. Good.
Spot on.
Well, memories are nice when taken in moderation, so keep those and hold them and go to the future. Let's talk about Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. Give us the lowdown. You got about 20 seconds. Go ahead.
20 seconds. You know what? The reason that camp is staying in the family is because John helped us with that, with Mom.
To retain
so
it,
that was put in trust. So long-term care, Mom's 90 or whatever happens, isn't going to take that out of the family. And it's still there, and they protected it for the future. People do that with their houses and everything. But John Murphy, the team out at Safe Harbor Wills and Trust, if you haven't done it, have that conversation. Update your stuff, because it's old, and your will's not going to work. 370-9977. 370-9977. Give safeharborwillsandtrust.com a call.
Very good. That was a great commercial you did right there.
I just pulled that out of somewhere.
The check is in the mail. Yeah. All right. It's our pleasure to bring on a new person to the show. His name is Todd Story, and he is an energy advisor at Energy Mark. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So let's get your story, Mr. Story.
I like that. I like that.
Where have you been, and where'd you come from?
Wow, good. That's a great question. So, let's start in California. Well, I got back here about 10 years ago. Yep, and it was tough leaving that spot, I got to say. The weather was great.
Were you originally born here, though?
I was.
Okay, so you're originally here. Okay.
Decided to take a road trip out and didn't come back for 10 years. So I was came back 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's been a long time. And I came back and got back into Syracuse, my hometown here, and,
What'd you do out in California?
Good question.
Were you an actor?
Did you surf?
Did you act?
I did surf a little bit, yes. But I went out there, and it pretty much it was a perfect spot to be, at the time. And the reason I came back was because the buildings kept getting bigger, and I couldn't see the beach anymore, and everything kept getting more expensive. So I'm back in Syracuse, but I was out there just kind of exploring, and I worked at a science center out there.
Nice.
Along with there was this gentleman named Stony B who I actually managed, and we went around to bars, and we would get him on stage. He was this guy from Louisiana. Yeah. I met outside just playing guitar. He came up to me and said, "Hey man, those are some Bob Dylan quotes." Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know how big he was until after the fact, because he actually, he played with Muddy Waters and all these other distinguished musicians. And it was really fun, but it was a good experience. I'm glad to be back, though. And it's been great the last 10 years being back.
So what's Energy Mark?
Energy Mark. So I found these guys through my uncle. Mm-hmm. He used to, when they deregulated energy back in 96, 98, electricity was done in 96, 98 was natural gas.
Yes.
There was competition then. It wasn't just a monopoly ran by the utility.
Right.
So the supply part is where we're at. That's what we help customers with. So we are energy advisors, energy managers. So it's not just saving money or budgeting money on your utility bill. It's other capital improvements, and just educating is the big thing in my position. Is like, this is what your bill says. This is what's going on in the world. This is why your prices are so high.
Commercial, houses, both?
Just commercial right now.
Okay, so commercial.
Just
Someone has
commercial,
a building, they spend a couple grand a month on heat and electricity or whatever heck it is. Is that someone you want to talk to?
Definitely.
And then how can you help them?
Yes, that's a great question, because I do want to help them. And the struggle is, it's been around for a while. So there's been, some, most people I talk to have had a bad experience.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them, but there's a few out there. So my job is to get through that gate and be like, hey, we're here to help. There is opportunity to, save money, budget your money going forward with your energy bill, because it's just going to keep getting higher and higher.
Be specific.
Yeah,
that
what
sounds
kind of-
like, I can save you money.
I can do all this stuff. So
what kind of bad experience did people have?
They just, maybe someone called them up and fixed them on a price, and then all of a sudden didn't see them for the next 3 years, and then they didn't realize they were paying such a high price until someone like me comes in.
Yes.
And there's two ways to do it. If your building or your commercial business is with the utility, right there's guaranteed savings right there.
And the
right
utility in our area would be National Grid.
Yeah,
that's the big elephant.
I didn't know if I could say that, but just want to make sure. Okay. But right there, it's really just, educating and then going, hey, on your bill here, we can take these 3 taxes away just for signing up with us as your energy supplier.
You take taxes away?
We take them away.
All right, phone lines are blowing up now.
So right off the bat there, if you're the utility, you're going to save money right off the bat.
Okay.
And then from there, what we do is look at your your whole structure, your current structure with your energy budget, and then go from there.
So it's just the sale of the product. If I've got wind blowing through the roof, that's not your problem.
Not my problem.
Okay, so it's if I'm paying X amount per kilowatt hour,
right?
You may be able to provide a lower price per kilowatt hour, and the more I use, the more I save.
You did your research. That was really good.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
I just made that up. I don't do research.
No, that was good. Most commercial businesses, the more they're using, the more they'll save is kind of what it comes down to, is what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah. So you're not actually doing the physical structure, so you're not putting up, poles with electricity or burying cable underground.
Right.
You're just the service side of it.
We are the supplier side of it.
Suppliers.
Exactly. So we procure our own energy through NYMEX and NYSO, which is the ones that they're the that's where we go to find our prices per kilowatt or decatherm or.
Okay, so if someone isn't using a company like yours, they're a fool. Change my mind.
You already said it. It's not. I want to go that far with it, but I just don't think they know. Maybe they're ignorant to that part of it, because you're right. The reason that the federal government did this, deregulated energy, was for competition, so you didn't have to pay as much as you would as maybe a National Grid being the monopoly of that part of it.
So the garage around the corner, or the manufacturer up the street, or all these people that are right near the Zoey studios here, these are people that. A conversation would be potentially save them money, and nothing else changes?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we just go in there, look at their bill, save them money. Any commercial building with a meter, we can help. So it's not like just one.
Is it just electricity, or is it gas as well?
Natural gas. And we also work with renewables.
Okay, so all of it.
Yep, all of it. Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Great.
Can you cause Tom's daughters to not use all the hot water?
Never.
I can ask them. I'm not sure if he wants me to do it.
Just checking.
So give Todd Story a call, energy advisor at EnergyMark, correct website?
That's correct. Yeah, thank you.
EnergyMarkLLC.com or 412-7172.
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Todd. You have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Sheila Ostrom. She's the owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer Solutions right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
It's a jolly holiday with Tom and Steve right here on the local show. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. You know, dads, get a kind of a bum rap, I think.
Tell me more, Tom.
It's just, the fathers don't get as much love, I don't think, as the mothers.
Well, here's what I know when it comes to the holidays.
What's that?
Mother's Day somehow becomes the husband's issue when they're really a wife. Valentine's Day, don't mess that one up. When it comes to the other holidays, birthdays, okay, guys, don't screw that up with the wife, okay? Christmas, you've got that. There's a lot of liability there for between men and women, and we don't fare very well, Tom.
No.
Wow, you guys aren't going to pull this one off. If the women were involved, there would be no Christmases.
Well,
there would be no Thanksgiving. There would be no holiday birthdays.
Hang on, I'd like to make an announcement. We're not alone here, Tom.
No, of course, we're never alone.
Why don't you introduce the young lady to my left? Go ahead, because apparently we've stepped in it. Go ahead, Tom. Introduce this lady.
Sheila Ostrom has been here a lot. Owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer Solutions. Aside from everything that can go wrong in the head, women do have it tough because, I follow a lot of longevity experts.
Good save, Tom.
And a lot of doctors and stuff. Women, it's tough. Guys can get kind of salt and pepper hair. You can go to the gym and you can gain muscle mass and all that. Women have so many things that they got a lot of different body parts. I don't know if you've noticed that, Steve, but women do. And a lot happens in menopause and all that,
men
right?
die, and men die 8 years earlier, just saying.
Probably better off.
But on the Father's Day front, it is not your responsibility to make sure that your children recognize the mom on Mother's Day.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
Unless they're young, then it is your responsibility.
Well, of course. Yeah.
But
as they get older, when they're in their 20s and stuff,
they need to be doing their own thing.
They should step up.
Come on.
Yep.
My youngest was traveling the world in military and stuff. It's like, hey, Nate, he didn't know what day it was. Like, hey, so maybe I did send a text, maybe.
So, Sheila, you have the last time you were here, you had just gotten back from Italy.
Yes.
And now I commented on your necklace. I'm going to comment on this necklace. This is another beautiful necklace.
Well, thank you.
I don't know if it's Italian design, but
this one is
very
not.
Pretty.
No, this would be Cole's design.
Well, you're always a sharp dresser.
She's got some Kohl's cash to prove it.
That's right.
So
that's how I paid for college.
Do you think that within 20 seconds or so, you could give people a background of how you got into this business?
Yeah, Senior Home Care Solutions started 14 years ago because of my mom. I wanted to help take care of seniors and do a better job than what I had seen. And that is how it all began.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. And what does your service provide right now for people?
We do in-home companion level care. So cooking, cleaning, laundry, transportation, engagement, and we specialize in dementia care as well.
Excellent. I have also heard through my online resources and people that I'm connected with that there have been great strides made in dementia and some medications and some natural remedies.
So there's a lot of things going on in the pharmacological world for dementia right now, which we're actually going to highlight in our dementia conference. So we're doing our second Living with Dementia conference on September 18th.
Okay. From
8 to 4 at the Embassy Suites across from the Destiny Mall.
How'd the last one go?
It was fantastic. We oversold. We had 285 people show up. It was fantastic. Yeah. Very well received. And this year we're so excited. Our lineup for topics and speakers is just fantastic.
Hey, did you ask Dr. Barry to be part of it at all?
So I did, but he's unavailable this year.
Oh, wow.
So he'll be next year.
Okay, good.
Yes.
He's got a separate segment just on Tom and all his ailing body parts. It'll be a full symposium.
Oh, my goodness.
So we are doing Velocity Clinical Research is our key speaker our key sponsor this year. And we're going to start the day out with Arel Moody. He is a motivational speaker, nationally known, has TED Talks and things of that nature. We're very excited to have him. He's going to start the day out. And then our keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Elizabeth Santos from Rochester. She's a geriatric psychiatrist, which is something that people have been asking for a while, is to have someone talk in that arena.
You could have Steve talk, and he could put everybody to sleep. He could, as a final thing, to put everybody to bed.
And we're also going to have Dr. Frank Middleton coming to talk from University about the gut-brain connection.
Oh, there's a lot of that. Yes.
Yep. And so we're really excited about our panels and our breakout rooms that we're doing this year. One of the things that we're going to talk about, psych emergencies in the world of dementia, because it does happen quite a bit. Clinical trials, pharmacological treatments. We're going to talk about a capacity clinic that's out there that people can go to. Care partnering, and we're also going to be giving out, training, hands-on training to help people working with their loved ones who have dementia.
So who should come to this? Is this more for professionals, or is it more for Aunt Mary who's trying to help Uncle Joe stay at home? I mean, who should come to this?
It is for both. Anybody professionally or personally that's caring for a loved one or a friend or family member with dementia will gain great knowledge from this and gather all the local resources that are available in the Central New York area.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we're very excited. So we have a website for it now. Okay. It's called livingwithdementiacny.org.
Okay.
And that website is not complete right yet, but it is up, and you can start to get some information about the conference, and we're continuing to add to it.
How much does it cost?
It's going to be $50 this year per person.
That's not bad.
No, it's not. It's mainly to cover the cost of the food.
Well, I was going to say, do you get a meal?
You do. You get a nice lunch.
What's in the lunch? No, I guess
to be determined.
Tom, I'm hungry. I don't know. I was just thinking about food. So, when people come, are there things that maybe everybody can't come? Are there things that people could practice, or like if you were going to give someone one tactic, if they're living with someone that has some memory loss, maybe dementia, maybe Alzheimer's, what would you encourage them to do?
The biggest thing is to really take some deep breaths before you start your day. And when you get frustrated, take a moment to yourself. You can also find a lot of great resources on our website at SyracuseSenior.com with some different videos and some tactics. But the number one thing to help people that are dealing with this is very, very difficult, and you need to have a team to help you, and you need to make sure that you are able to have some patience.
Okay, so Senior Home Care Solutions, let's not lose sight of that. That's your baby.
That's the main company.
SyracuseSenior.com.
And this is my passion.
There we go.
Living with Dementia 2024, the Care Partners Journey.
Correct. So SyracuseSenior.com. Mm-hmm. And if someone maybe just needs someone to help out a few hours a week or a day with a family member or friend at home, those are the spaces that you help do it. And but this is your baby. Well, thank you for coming and sharing all the info.
Thank you for having me again. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. All right, kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Sev Ganella. He's the owner of Clean All, and then John Kupperman joins us. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Jeremy Mapstone is the co-owner of Pastureland Dairy, and Carl Zinzerling is the president of CRAL Contracting. All in hour number 2. It starts really soon, so stick around.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Welcome back and welcome in. This is hour number 2 of the local show. Get ready for engaging interviews with Sev Ganella, owner of Clean All, and John Kupperman stops by. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Jeremy Mapstone, co-owner of Pastureland Dairy and part of Onondaga Grown. We'll have a conversation with him. And then Craig Zinzerling is the president of CRAL Contracting, all in hour number 2. And boy, I wish I could just blow my nose all day.
Well, engaging conversation. The first one you said was Sev.
Yeah, well.
I'm not too sure.
Well, no, Sev's here and ready to go. Can we have a show of hands? How many people have that summer cold that's going around?
Yeah.
A lot of
just
them.
you.
Just one.
Just you. Sev, you feeling good?
I just want to know why there isn't a glass booth around him.
Yeah, right.
A shield.
Or 15 masks
I think we should
or
put
something
6
like that.
N95s on him.
Everybody should get the cold. It makes you tougher.
If what doesn't kill you makes you tougher.
Stronger, yeah.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I don't know that that's true.
Sev Ganella, cleanallcny.com. Is that your website?
That is.
Okay, cleanallcny.com. Tell people what you do, Sev.
We do all things swimming pools except build them. So new liners, new covers, new filtration systems. We do commercial work. We do plaster work. We're actually doing 3 plaster jobs next week. Camp Hollis and Oswego.
Oh, wow.
We're taking a pool in New Hartford. It's an apartment complex. It was a 25 by 35 12-foot deep pool, and we turned it into a 4-foot deep pool.
Why do they have to take the fun out of everything, Tom? So that's because someone might dive off a board or drown, and take
the conversation
take the fun out of deep water. Come on, I
know.
Am I wrong?
You could drown in 4 feet of water.
Right.
The conversation is that possibly through the health department, they do not need to have a lifeguard if the pool is not over 4 feet.
Okay.
I'm not sure of that, but they want the job done, so we're doing it.
Takes less water.
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Less chemicals. Actually,
Absolutely.
the function of it probably costs less, right?
Yep.
So there's some retail outlets out there that people go to get their chlorine or get a skimmer and things like that. Mm-hmm. Why should someone come to Clean All for that kind of stuff?
I think that we have expert people at the counter, and I'm always behind there somewhere to come out and help with some of those odd problems.
Interesting. Steve's always behind me.
Especially when you have a cold.
Yes.
So here's a unique one. We do a lot of jobs in Skanehouse, a lot of weekly service out there, and they have a problem with ducks in the pool.
Wait. So ducks are flying by going, hey, let's land in that highly chlorinated, clean blue water.
Well, they don't know.
And they go in the pool.
And they go in the pool.
They go potty in the pool.
Do you get like duck away? How do you get the ducks out of the pool?
So a couple things we're doing. We've had to actually go into 2 pools and get eggs out on the steps.
Serious? So these okay, they were in a hurry and they dropped their eggs.
Yeah, there you go. So there's a product that we've ordered. We haven't tried it yet called Duck Off.
Hold on. Off.
It's a liquid that goes in the pool, and it reduces the surface tension so the ducks aren't as buoyant, so they don't go into your pool, they go into the neighbor's pool.
What, maybe you just get a dog?
Yeah, you get that too.
I don't know.
Then you got to clean up a different kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing.
Right, and then the other thing we have, a long time ago, they used to have these dolphins. They sort of sat up and they floated in the pool. Blow-up dolphins.
Okay.
So you put them in the pool and you tie a line to them so they stay floating in the middle and they bob up and down, and that scares away the ducks.
Ducks and any other fowl as well.
Yep. Yeah. So it is a nasty problem.
It's a weird kind of business you're in. So pool season, water's warming up. Is there something someone can do short of a heater to keep their pool warmer, or is it just live with what you got?
Solar cover will give you a few degrees. They're more of a problem to put on and off, but they will stop evaporation and retain the heat that you get from the sun.
Do you have the kind that retract automatically, or you can crank?
You can crank
like
up. Yep. They make
you have
fully
that.
automatic ones. Yes, we do. Yep, in the store.
Yeah, my brother-in-law told me, so I don't know that it's necessarily verifiable, that he loses lots of water, like every day, evaporating from the pool, like a lot of water.
No.
Does that mean there's a leak?
Yes.
Or okay.
Here's what he can do. So
Okay.
take a bucket of water, put it on the side of the pool. You will lose the same amount of evaporation in the pool as in the bucket because it's just surface water. So if he loses an inch of water with evaporation in the bucket, he should only lose an inch of water in the pool. If he uses more water in the pool, he has a leak. He needs to call Clean All.
Okay, so how do you find a leak?
We come out there. We have pressure testing mechanical stuff where you pressure test the return lines and the skimmer lines, and then we have a diver that comes out with dye and goes through the things like the lights and the skimmers. What I like to do is tell people before I come out there, and it saves them money and me time, is a process that takes 2 days. You start with your pool at the right level, and you run your system for 12 hours, and you mark that depth loss. Then you fill the pool back up to that same depth. You shut your system off for 12 hours, and you measure it. If you lose the same amount of water in both situations, it is in the body of the pool, not in the plumbing. If you lose more water with the system on, it's in the return lines. If you lose more water with the system off, it's in the suction side.
Genius. I say genius. That's interesting. So what you're saying, I won't tell him, and well, he doesn't listen to the show anyway. What I will tell him is say, Jim, that's a little too much evaporation. You might want to shut it off for a day and see what happens. Is that the way to start?
I would give him the bucket thing. Put a bucket on the side and you look. If you lose more.
Well, that he was talking gallons and gallons a day.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that's not right.
So that's not right.
Absolutely.
It's going somewhere.
Where's the most popular place pools leak?
Return lines. Crack in the return lines.
Are those hard to fix, simple to fix, somewhere in the middle?
Cut up concrete sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be right below the plumbing by your filter. It could be an easy fix.
Interesting.
Well, pools break?
Sometimes.
Liquid chlorine, still a thing?
Sure. Absolutely. Sell a lot of chlorine.
You sell a lot of chlorine.
We bring in 4,000 to 8,000 gallons of liquid chlorine a week by tanker.
Holy poop. That's a lot. So people, should they be using the liquid or the little hockey puck things?
It's all preference. Liquid is the least expensive. It used to be really inexpensive. Now it's up there a little bit, but it's the most hassle to use. You get chlorine on your clothes, you got to pour it in. Tablets are a little bit more expensive, but they're easier to use. Mm-hmm. You're not lugging heavy stuff in your car, spilling it, making a mess.
Do you have a full complement of the tablets?
Everything you need in the store.
Everything.
Do you have like swim toys?
We have substitutes. Not really big at a swim toy.
Picture Tom with little swimmies on, going over his big, thick, weightlifting arms.
Yes.
I think a few floaties, maybe 3 or 4 on each arm.
How about the what are those things called? Hot tubs. So now, do you get into hot tubs?
We don't sell them, but we do service. We're warranty reps for a couple different hot tub manufacturers.
So during the summer, do people work on their hot tubs at all to get ready for, because it's only a couple of months and then it becomes colder?
A lot of people leave their hot tubs on all year round.
Yeah.
Set the temperature down low. Mine's on. Right now it's set at, I think, 80.
Because there's therapeutic value to that.
Absolutely.
And health benefits.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's good.
So you're doing a lot of plaster right now. Forgive me, because that's a simple question, Tom. You'll think I'm dumb, but then again.
If
I've got I see these big plastic fiberglass pools sitting by the side of the road. That goes in the ground. Why do I need a liner? How's that thing leaking?
So the 3 kinds of pools are plaster pools, fiberglass pools, and liner pools.
Okay. So that's a different kind of pool.
Yeah.
See, Tom, did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, Tom learned something. So you're at the corner of Geddes and Erie.
Yep, Erie Boulevard West.
Erie Boulevard West. If you need something to fix your pool, if you have a question, your pump breaks, something's making a noise, you guys are the pool experts. Absolutely. Clean All CNY right there at Geddes and Erie.
Thank you very much.
All right. John Kupperman.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Oh, thank you.
And
the same to you. John Kupperman's coming up next, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. He'll be on The Local Show on 570 WSYR 106.9 FM.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. Here we are, Tom and Steve, the variety show, just for you, The Local Show.
Is that a little stuffy there, Tom?
Oh, this is terrible cold. Summer cold. That's what I get for saying to people, boy, you got to really keep up on your vitamins. Means nothing.
Are you not wearing 2 N95s walking around?
No.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, that'll help, right?
No. That doesn't help either. Better chance of the vitamins working. But sometimes, the body just breaks down, and I think you wear me down to the point of where,
it is one of the reasons God put me on earth.
Yes, to wear me down. So it's good that we have some nice guests to buffer us, and John Kupperman is one of them. He's the owner of Smith Restaurant Supply. Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to you as well.
You are a very proud father because one of your kids is in England, right? Was she?
Yeah, she's in England.
Or
she is on and an environmental conservationist.
Oh, okay. So a tree hugger.
Yeah, and an animal hugger. But in England, it's interesting. When you have a construction project, you have to leave the environment the same or better than.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what the work that she does with this corporation that she works for.
Well, they have everything over in England is historic. So you have to be very careful. Like you can't upset a castle.
Oh, it's common to walk into a building that's 500-600 years old.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
Where here, you say, oh, it's 100 years old, and it's a big deal.
Yeah,
and there, it's like, and you drive around and you will see ruins that are over 1,000 years old.
Crazy, isn't it?
I mean, Hadrian's Wall runs right through the community.
That's
from Roman time.
Kind of reminds me wandering through the back part of Smith Restaurant Supply where the Syracuse China stuff is.
Yep.
How old is some of that stuff? Seriously,
a little over 100 years, 120.
Some of it. Something.
So, and that's all, yes, everybody knows Smith and they know the coffee, but you're kind of a collector of odd things too, let's be honest.
Well, I try not to collect it. I collect it and then I try to sell it. You know? I often joke, the store's not a museum. You want to see this stuff leave. The idea is to, buy things and have them.
We have thousands of pieces.
Go and have somebody enjoy that in their own home.
So there's thousands of pieces of Syracuse China back there, aren't there?
Oh my gosh, I think right now probably about 5,000 to 6,000 pieces. Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and so I will sometimes buy people's collections, and other times I go out to estate sales. Pretty frequently, predominantly in the Rochester area.
Okay.
And I'll buy, glassware, vintage kitchen items, just things that kind of catch my eye.
If someone had those things to sell, are you interested in buying them here? Or?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay.
And what I do is I'll give out my email address, and I have people send me photos.
Okay.
I don't want people just showing up with a.
It has to be
car.
authentic, right?
Right, but it also, some back in the old building where I had all the room in the world, people would just drop off boxes of stuff, and I just can't handle that here.
Yeah.
But I also have a very good sense of what will sell and what won't. So I just encourage people to send me photos, and then we can go from there.
So if someone didn't get the memo that you've been across from Texas Roadhouse for 3 or 4 years?
4 years now.
4 years on Erie Boulevard with a simpler format, right? You can walk in and kind of see everything, where the other building, you're up, down, behind, around.
Nothing was level in the old building.
Okay.
The two buildings didn't line up. They were about 4 feet different. So you were going up and down ramps and up and down stairs. And here, it's the same space as it was in downtown on the first floor, and the store lays out really very nicely.
Would you say that you have every kitchen implement and dining room implement, houseware
darn
under the
near.
sun?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and if there's something that we don't have and we get a request, we bring it in.
Nice.
Usually my rule is if I get 2 or 3 requests, I then bring it in.
Yeah.
But we've got something like 18,000 stock items.
That's incredible.
So
what's hot now?
It's hot when it's hot,
part
right.
of the summer. Yeah.
Well, coffee always is. Our Hyman Smith coffee.
Yeah, it's always
Now,
so.
you had a coffee sale there a few weeks ago. You sold a lot of coffee.
850 pounds in 2 days.
Wow.
That was the biggest sale we've ever had.
Due to the radio ads, I heard.
A lot of it.
I know we have caused people to walk in carrying knives. I know that happened, right?
They're getting better with that. They're wrapping them and bring them in for the sharpening.
Yeah.
But what's hot, continuing baking supplies, cake
Shakers.
decorating, also disposables. We've talked about the foil pans, the takeout containers, napkins, tablecloths, anything that you would use for throwaway stuff for a family event or a get-together.
Let's encourage people now to come up there for the throwaway stuff. I want to encourage people. Get up there because you know what? Don't give your Tupperware away to people because you never get it back.
Right.
You never get your plasticware back.
Somebody seems bitter.
Some of that stuff that you have might be nice to have on hand for the summer.
It is.
And then you can pack up your macaroni salad and say, here you go, Aunt Sally.
And then you don't have to worry about taking it back. And a lot of this stuff is technically disposable, but it's really reusable.
Oh, right.
But you're not going to get upset if you don't get it back.
Get it back, yeah, because it's cost effective.
So those pizza oven things, are they still a thing?
Pizza, not so much the ovens themselves. That seems to have been trending out. But pizza supplies, pans, cutters, the pizza peels, which is the paddle to take in and out. They're called a pizza peel. Don't ask me why. I got to Google that. I have no idea why it's called a peel. But all things having to do with pizza supplies is still very popular.
Did people back a dozen years ago? Everybody was no carb. It was the whole Atkins rage and all that all those things. Did that kill baking?
Back then,
did you feel it?
No.
Okay, so it didn't.
Baking has always been a thing.
What was that bread company that was all around that went out of business? The
I don't know.
Colorado bread, some
Panera's still around.
No, it was some of that. I figured it was a place that there were bread shops everywhere, and they just went poof because the theory was everybody went to carbs or went anti-carb, but you still sell it. You still sell. They must be making it
during COVID. Sourdough became a huge deal. Sourdough.
Our own Lori here does sourdough.
Yeah. She had like 100-year-old something. Explain this to me.
Starter.
The starter. Yeah, you keep it alive, essentially.
That's kind of creepy, actually.
No, but it's like anything else. It's a bacteria,
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Comes down the stairs,
But the difference now with baking is previously, it used to be seasonal. You'd have, holiday baking or you'd have Valentine's Day. Now it's year round. I mean, it's just consistently one of the biggest categories in the store.
No kidding.
Yeah, year round.
So what about the dreaded Instapot? Did people stop cooking and everybody just says, throw it in the Instapot and do it? Did that
we get
change things?
A little bit. Air fryers is another big thing. And
that's still hot.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of the household ranges now, they have an air fry setting in them.
Right.
So we sell liners and we sell, baskets to put in the ovens and, but air frying is a thing. It's a healthier way to
Can you use that as a dehydrator or is that a different thing?
The oven?
Yeah, the air fryer.
That would be tricky. You'd have to.
Because
really
I want Tom to buy one of those dehydrators so he can make really good beef jerky and bring it in and give it to me.
Well, we have dehydrators as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And vacuum sealers and vacuum sealing bags and all that sort of thing.
So people can get up there and do you run any sales over the summer or is it?
We're thinking of doing a sidewalk sale.
Oh, nice.
For some of the things, but the newest thing is we now have a loyalty program where if you sign up for the loyalty program, you're actually earning money back.
Okay.
And we started that a couple months ago, and that's been very, very popular.
Excellent. Well, get on up there, folks, and you can ask for him by name, John Kupperman, owner of Smith Restaurant Supply, and he'll take care of you and show you around all the items up there. Thank you so much, John. You have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Feel better.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Jeremy Mapstone's up next, co-owner of Pastureland Dairy, Onondaga Road, right here on The Local Show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back at it again. Here we are, Tom and Steve, the local show for your listening pleasure. The last bastion of good talk radio, they tell me.
No comment.
Yeah, other people tell me.
No comment. No comment.
All right, Steve.
I do always hear continually, there's that guy, with a great voice, and then there's you.
Right.
So your voice isn't all that great because you're a little stuffy. But,
yes, a lot stuffy today. I'll tell you what, those summer colds.
But you got no gig this weekend, right? So you don't
No.
Okay, that's good.
It's Father's Day fun. I'm going to still try to get out to that car show after this show and enjoy myself.
And if you did have a gig, the music was so loud, your wife's eye would probably pop out with the surgery she had, right?
Poor woman. Detached retinas are nothing to be messing around with, folks.
That's terrible.
It's just, and I've heard more and more people talk about that. It's like, I don't know why it's happening. Well, anyway, we've got somebody here who's new to the show and part of Onondaga Grown. His name is Jeremy Mapstone, the co-owner of Pastureland Pastureland Dairy. How you doing there, Jeremy?
Doing very well.
Better than me, I bet.
Sounds like, yeah.
The bar's not real high.
I guess so.
Do the animals get sick at all?
For sure.
Really? Do they catch a cold?
They get sick. I can't imagine. I don't know that it looks the same as what right. Or sounds the same, but they get sick, and we have to deal with it just like we do as humans.
Do they wear N95s to make them?
They don't wear N95s, but we vaccinate to try to prevent stuff like that.
Yeah. So how long have you been in the dairy business?
Well, I graduated college in 2015, and I came back to the farm full time right away.
Did you go to Morrisville?
I didn't go to Morrisville.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I didn't go to Morrisville. I didn't go to Cornell. I didn't even study ag in school. So I went to school to play baseball and down in northern Pennsylvania. So played 4 years of college baseball and then came back to farm. So
there you go.
That's wonderful. So this has been in your family for a while?
Yeah.
How many generations?
Yeah, my grandfather started the farm in 1944, and then my father took it over, and then I'm working to do the same.
What side of town? Where is the farm?
So just in the border, like Manlius and Pompey, right in the Route 20 corridor there.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of, Toggenburg, Ski Mountain, we're kind of right in that neck of the woods. So
very nice.
Yep.
And how many head of cattle do you have?
We have just under 400 organic cows. So
wow. Now, what's the difference between an organic cow and
So no difference.
Drives a Subaru.
Yeah,
that's right. Shops at Whole Foods. So there's no difference in the cow per se.
Okay.
It's just most of the difference in the way that we farm, things that we're allowed to do, things that we're not allowed to do. So we graze our cattle. Every animal, like this time of year, for example, is out all day. Besides for the couple hours that we milk them. So it's mostly just farming practices. In terms of the cow, you wouldn't know the difference if you looked at it.
And where do you sell the milk, or so you're not a beef cattle? You're just dairy.
We're dairy. We're dairy. That's our primary business, and so we sell right now to Upstate Niagara Co-op. We're farmer owners there. So Wegmans is their kind of their big partner. So
I've heard of them.
Big customer, Upstate Niagara.
I've heard of Wegmans.
Yeah, you might have heard of Wegmans. Yeah. So Upstate does all the private label for Wegmans. So any Wegmans dairy products is Upstate.
So is milk or is milk cheese or something else?
Well, I think most of our milk, being that we're one of the larger organic producers kind of in this area, most of our milk is staying as fluid milk. But that's not to say that some of it, they have a yogurt plant up in northern New York. Nice. Some of it,
very, very good.
So skim milk tastes awful. Change my mind.
I won't change your mind. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah,
and
I
isn't
agree
it
with
funny
you.
that the sugar content of skim milk is a lot higher than regular whole milk or heavy cream, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it is funny. I will not change your mind on the skim milk, especially. I mean, we drink our milk right out of the tank. So,
Well, so is raw milk a thing still?
Raw milk is a thing. I mean, that's how we drink our milk. Obviously, we're not allowed to sell it or anything like that, but it's certainly got a lot of health benefits.
Yeah. A lot of the people that I follow health-wise, the influencers, they drink the raw milk. Yeah.
Different states obviously have different regulations and things like that. But
do you also have chickens, or is it just
we do? But recreationally, we sell. We raise a couple of beef cattle for our kind of for our own friends and family.
Sure.
We have some chickens for eggs, but the primary, we make maple syrup and stuff as well. But our primary business is dairy.
Right.
Are things changing, or now that you're organic, or maybe you always were, is the industry going to change in the next 10 years, or is it stay the course kind of thing?
Well, so we've been organic since 2007. So, fairly good number of years, and we've seen kind of ebbs and flows, the same as with the dairy industry as a whole. I don't know, the whole ag industry as a whole has been changing and probably will continue to change. But we saw the last couple of years, we saw kind of the nut milk, dairy alternatives be a major threat to us. And I think with the Beyond Beef and stuff like that too, and we're seeing some of the trends we've been seeing recently, that stuff's kind of going away a little bit more. People are realizing
it's not good for you.
It's not quite as good for you as
we've got some of that
marketed as.
Some of that in the fridge. Nut milk.
Yeah.
And my wife uses that, and I'm and I go back to skim milk. It changed my mind. It's not. It's just not.
It's not the same. And so what people are realizing actually is, and what people the company we produce for Upstate, they're producing lactose-free milk. So a lot of the big things were those nut milks because people were struggling with dairy to digest it and stuff. Well, a lot of those people have now found, okay, if I just stick with my milk, that I like, but it's lactose-free, that they don't need those almond milk milks and all those alternatives, they can stick with milk and just get a lactose-free version.
Give us a little lesson on the different types of milk. So, start with heavy cream. How do you make heavy cream?
Heavy cream, so for example, our milk is, we milk Jersey cows and crossbred cows. So our milk, the fat content might be a little bit higher, over 4% roughly. Anyway, if you let raw milk from the refrigerator settle on your counter, the top, couple inches is going to be cream.
I got you.
So if you or I went to do it, we'd skim the cream off, and then what's left is going to be some reduced version of, it might not be all the way to skim, but it's going to be 2%, 1%, the more cream you take off. That heavy cream there is what you use to make butter and other, dairy products there.
Is heavy cream, does that have less lactose?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
It has more fat and calories. I know that.
Yeah, I mean it's got.
But it's good fat.
It's the fat. Yeah, and fat is nothing to be afraid of. No. That's what, like, sometimes we'll do a little on our own. We'll skim the cream off and we'll make butter.
I've always wanted to ask this of a farmer. This is an important question.
Okay.
Who had the courage to first eat sour cream? It went bad and they ate it. Explain this to me.
Another one. I'm not sure I can answer that.
What is sour cream?
Sour cream is going to be some type of a cultured dairy product.
Cultured, okay.
So, much in the same way that yogurt is got, it's milk and it's got enzymes added to it. Fermented and things like that. So I've got friends that could answer these questions much better, but I produce it.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese is a whole different, that's technically moldy. So that one for me is.
That's risky.
Yeah, I love it, but hey, that's another one. Whoever ate that first, more power to them.
So how do you relate in the way of Onondaga grown? So how are you connected to that?
Well, we're just part, we're happy to produce our milk in Onondaga County, and we're happy to help, promote different businesses in Onondaga County, and so our milk stays local at some of these local Wegmans and, stores there. So we're just kind of part of the movement trying to convince, not even convince, but just promote.
Let people know.
You let people know there is milk, produced right in your neighborhood and just educate on farming.
Will you be opening up your farm for on-farm days? Or?
Our farm is not open for on-farm fest. We're happy to take visitors and give tours anytime, but we don't have like the parking infrastructure right now to get a lot of people in there. So
So it's good. And you connected it to Upstate Farm, and I see the Upstate. I see that, and that's your stuff.
That's right. That's
cool. That's
cool. Thank you, Jeremy Mapstone, right there, a Men Among Men, co-owner of the Pastureland Dairy, part of Onondaga Grown. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
And thank you for what you do every day.
Yep.
We appreciate that. Craig Zinzerling is coming up next. He's the president of CRAL Contracting right here on the local show on 570 WSYR.
The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it and back at it again. You've got the Local Show on this Father's Day weekend. We're broadcasting from the Zoey Advertising Studio, sponsored by Safe Harbor Wills and Trust, because they felt sorry for Steve.
No,
you can see us on YouTube.
Tom, they've been on board forever, and people get to learn about them and trust them and all that kind of stuff. I brought a plunger in the studio to use on your head and your face. Woo. I was just going to suck it.
Yes. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, sort of.
You are stuffy,
I
man.
think I want to invent a new type of thing that happens in the summer. It's a combination of allergies and the summer cold together.
Oh my God. Well, you don't use that thing that flushes your. Don't you use that?
I haven't used my Navage in a while.
Okay, well maybe
I should. Maybe I should try. Of course, now I don't know if anything can get by it. Well, we'll see. Anyway, we got a new person on the show, and we'll listen to him talk. That way, you don't have to listen to me and my sinuses. Craig Zinzerling is the president of CRAL Contracting. Did I say that right, CRAL?
Yes, you did.
All right. So, Craig, what's your story? Like, are you a Syracuse native? Did you start your business here?
I did. I started business here. I grew up in Liverpool. I survived about a 150 tractor trailers stuck under the bridge.
Yeah.
And I drink the beer now. And I grew up in Liverpool, graduated from Liverpool High School, and came back after college from Chicago, started a business doing environmental contracting.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
That means we do asbestos, lead, and mold remediation.
Why would someone want to do that?
Exactly.
I know. I'm going to go after the stuff no one else will touch. So how does that happen? How'd you vow to that? That's interesting.
We got into it. I was in the contracting business and saw an opportunity when mold was becoming a big issue. It was all on 2020. Barbara Walters.
Sure.
Some of your listeners may remember that
Black
name.
mold. Everything
Black mold.
Yeah.
And that became a big news story. I saw an opportunity. I was in the contracting business, and I said, I'm going to do it. I talked my wife off the ledge. We had 2 cars in the garage, a mortgage, and 3 kids, and risked everything.
Yes.
Wow.
And I got her buy-in, which was difficult, and she supported me the entire time.
How many years ago was that?
We are celebrating our 20th year.
Oh, wow. You've been at it for a while.
Yeah, and I'm blessed with having my son. He came back after college, and he works with us now.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
How big a team do you have?
We've got about 30 people.
Okay.
That's pretty big.
It's
not
a
just
small family, medium-sized business, local.
Is it commercial, or are you taking asbestos out of Tom's basement?
Yes, we do both commercial and residential work. Most of the residential work is driven by insurance opportunities. If there's a fire or a flood, we'll respond and do the environmental portion of that cleanup.
Yeah.
And that relates to commercial stuff as well. And we work for a lot of general contractors in town, any construction projects where there's demolition in front of it. Typically, they'll have some environmental concerns.
Did you have a good year throughout the COVID years? Were people
Anybody burn their house
remediating
3/4
COVID?
down, so it was good for you?
The insurance work didn't stop because of that. The fires and floods, they didn't stop during COVID, and we had to adjust a little bit. But what we did do a lot of is we're good at putting together engineering controls. And during COVID-19, our governor at the time said, hey, everybody should go to nursing homes who have.
Right.
So
What a great idea.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, he's taken a lot of heat for that. And that provided us a great opportunity. We're great. They're not equipped. Like hospitals have special zones that are under HEPA-equipped negative air pressure.
Gotcha.
We can do that. We can set up a wing of a nursing home and set that under containment with engineering controls in place. So we did that all over the state.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, see a need, fill a need, right?
That's it.
So when it comes to, I always think of the Serve Pros and these companies that something catches fire and they come in and they board it up and they mop it up and they clean it up. Do you compete with them or do you work with them?
We work with them. So they, 99% of them don't do asbestos work. So they'll refer us on that. They'll go in, and before touching anything, you have to test it. Before removing sheetrock, the joint compound, you have to test those items and prove that it's not asbestos before you disturb it. And they'll test that. If it comes back hot or containing asbestos, they'll bring us in and we'll do that work. We'll work alongside those guys.
You know, it's been a long time that we've known asbestos is bad for you, right?
Yeah.
Is there still asbestos left around?
Yeah, one of the latest things, New York State in an infinite wisdom decided that vermiculite is considered vermiculite, which you probably used in your gardens maybe at times, but there's a lot of vermiculite that's in attics or in wall cavities.
Why?
And some of the vermiculite is contaminated with asbestos. So New York State said, and it's very difficult to separate and test for it, so New York State said if there's vermiculite, it's asbestos.
So vermiculite is not a beer.
Rid of it.
I've tried drinking it.
Crazy.
So
you got to get rid of all that.
What's the geography? How big of a territory do you cover?
We do all of the state, the entire state except downstate.
Is that a licensing thing? Are you licensed to do it? But then in certain areas you're not, or how's it work?
We're licensed in New York State. So yes, we can work throughout New York State. We have to have, every individual has a license, and then the company has to have a license as well, and those are all renewed. All our guys have to go through an initial training that's a week long to get a license, and then they'll get a refresher every year. They have to take a test and pass it, and they get a card.
How prevalent is black mold in our area?
How prevalent is black mold? It's around, and for certain people in certain communities, immunocompromised people, it is a big issue. But if you're taking care of any moisture intrusions in your building envelope, you shouldn't have any black mold.
Okay.
I had a friend years ago in Mexico. They had it so bad they just tore the house down.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
They tried it, and then people are like, I just spray bleach on it. I don't know. Do you hear these kinds of things? And well, that didn't work. And then they tried to get someone to do it. The house ended up going bye-bye.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing, right?
It's a very real thing. And at this current time, I'm dealing with 2 people who are considering leaving their homes because it is so bad. They've brought in lots of specialists, lots of testing.
Sure.
And for certain people, it's a big issue.
Can you solve that problem, or is sometimes you can't?
Sometimes you can't.
But you'll be straight with people and say, here's what we can do, here's what we can't do.
Correct. Yep. And everybody's different. I'm sorry. Everybody's different as they relate to mold. You react to it different than you react to it.
Well, everything bothers Tom. If there's mold,
obviously, I'm listening to
Tom would be at the ER, and they'd have to carry him away in an ambulance because, he saw a piece of mold. Where I'm not like that, Tom.
Steve, they used to call Steve the black mold of his neighborhood. More neighbors left because of him.
So what I hear you saying, a lot of partnering with contractors, commercial contractors, if they need another vendor or a partner, hey, you handle this stuff.
Correct.
The asbestos, the mold, the vermiculite, which is not a beer.
What else? Anything else we're missing?
Lead. We do lead.
Lead.
Yep, we do lead as well.
You do lead. Is that legal in New York now? Oh, that was marijuana. Okay. So, CRAL Inc.
CRALinc.com.
CRALinc.com. If they have questions or someone goes, hey, can you help me? Or I know a guy, maybe one of those conversations, 671-6066. 671-6066. Is that correct?
671-6006.
Tom, how often do I get it? Do I get a number wrong every?
Oh, my goodness.
So let's try that again. Sorry, the other people that are getting those calls. 671-6006.
That's right.
You got that's right from the dyslexic Steve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Craig.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Have a great rest of the day, okay? Steve, that's going to wrap things up for you father, you.
There we go.
I've always thought of you as
Thank
a
you
father.
very much. I'm going to go catch some fish.
All right, good. On behalf of the Zoey Advertising and Tom and Steve and the local show, God bless you and your families. Make some time today to relax and exercise, and do it every day. Do it with a friend or family member because it'll keep your mind and body healthy. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business. Keep doing business locally. Wash your hands during the week because you don't want to catch this cold. And tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, the iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising.